This is Tuesday, March the 8th. This is American history. Well, to spur on the economy, there's really only two ways. You could do what Hoover did, which is the trickle-down approach, or you can try what Roosevelt did, which is the pump prime. Now, for the pump prime to work, you have to put money into the economy. This means that government is going to have to spend. Usually this is going to come in the form of public works. Now, when you do this, the national debt is going to go up at alarming rates. And the question becomes, are we spending too much and creating too much debt? Now, Roosevelt believed that the federal government should practice debt relief. Roosevelt felt that the best way to give money to the people was to create jobs and to give the unemployed jobs. And he is going to do this through a variety of methods. The CCC. The CCC is the Civilian Conservation Corps. It was aimed at young men between the ages of 18 and 25, I believe it is. Men who were unemployed and living in the urban areas of America. These men would sign up. They would then be placed on a train and they would be shipped out west. There, they would be placed under the control of the United States Army. And these young men would then go about building things and practicing conservation. Here is a video that talks about a CCC project out west. The Federal Emergency Relief Administration, the FERA, is going to give money to soup kitchens, money to homeless shelters, and grants to various states. Now, if you think about it, this is what Roosevelt tried when he was governor of the state of New York. He used taxpayers' money to give to soup kitchens and homeless shelters. Other states would like to do this, but they needed the money. So Roosevelt provided the money. The Federal Relief Agency, Emergency Relief Agency, would soon morph into something called the Civilian Works Administration. Now, the Civilian Works Administration was run by Harry Hopkins. Harry Hopkins was part of Roosevelt's brain trust. Hopkins is going to create public works buildings. Money would also be paid for actors to act, painters to paint, and other of the performing arts. The AAA. The AAA is the Agricultural Adjustment Administration. Now, the AAA is going to set a minimum price for food. This is what we call parity. So let's say that you are a farmer and you are growing corn. What is the lowest price the government will pay to buy your corn? That is what we call parity. So let's say that you're a farmer and you want to sell your corn and you can't find anybody to buy it. Well, the government will pay it. Now, what exactly is the government going to do with this food? Well, the government's going to turn around and it's going to sell the food to schools. Here at Helias, on Friday, they have peanut butter and jelly. And this peanut butter and jelly, the peanut butter comes from commodity foods, where the government has bought peanuts and turned it into peanut butter. Here's a video about the AAA and the problems the farmers face. The New Deal is going to create the NRA. The NRA stands for National Recovery Administration. Now, this is the most ambitious that the federal government is going to do. The federal government is going to set prices on goods. So all yo-yos are going to cost the same amount around the United States. It's going to set wages. In other words, if you work on a yo-yo, whether you're here in Missouri or somewhere else, this is what you're going to be paid. The government is going to call this a code of fair practice. Now, to join the NRA, you must sign a contract. Now, the contract says that you will not use child labor, that you will establish a minimum wage, that you will have a 40-hour week, that you will set standards for how much you're going to charge and how much you're going to pay. Now, if you agree to this, then you are allowed to fly the Blue Eagle. That's what these guys are getting ready to raise, a flag that shows the Blue Eagle. Then you are supposed to go into businesses that support the NRA. Now, here is a commercial that was run in the movie houses to get you to go and become part of the NRA. The New Deal is going to create the Public Works Administration. Now, the PWA is very similar to the CWA. It's going to send money on bridges, building irrigation canals, and other infrastructure. Now, the biggest PWA project was the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, the Golden Gate Bridge was thought of before the Depression, but it was during the Depression that the Golden Gate Bridge was actually built. This connects San Francisco, California, with Marin County. It allows you to go from one part of San Francisco to another, and you don't have to pay the high fees that the ferry boat operators were charging. This video here talks about the building of the Golden Gate. The last one that we're going to talk about is the TVA. The TVA stands for the Tennessee Valley Authority. Now, the TVA is going to deal with the Tennessee River. When the Tennessee River floods, it floods in biblical proportions. And the idea was that we would build dams on the Tennessee River for irrigation. We would build dams for flood control. We would build dams to create electricity. Now, the TVA is going to dam the Tennessee rivers and its tributaries. Now, tired land was bought up, and white and black workers alike are paid the same amount of money to work in the TVA. This is going to cause some problems with people who believe that blacks should get paid less than whites. The TVA is going to create industrial boards, and these industrial boards are going to be composed of citizens who will determine how cheap the rates will be. Traditionally, TWA has the cheapest rates in the United States because the TVA is not out to make a profit. The TVA is going to raise the standards for residents. It will become a model for future programs. Now, this video here talks about the TVA. I think this would probably be a good place for us to stop. In our class today, we have a virtual math schedule, and several of these videos are going to go pretty long. Remember, if you were not with us yesterday, you need to have done the walkout worksheet. We are thinking about having another walkout worksheet at the end of this week, and we're probably looking at a quiz next Wednesday, March 17th.